It's about the one slice of pizza that feels good and tastes good with the protein, with more fiber, whatever, with the more balance. And it's about having the ice cream because you wanted the ice cream, but you actually tasted the delicious real ice cream instead of the fake Arctic Zero crap watered down version that doesn't make you feel good. And binging on that to finish it because it's 150 calories.
Right.
Eat the real thing, but have a bite or two of it, or 3 or 4, whatever that mindful portion is for your body, and finally feel satisfied.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon. Hey, Jackie.
Hey, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jackie, thanks for meeting with us today. I know we've been trying to get this going, probably for a year at least, I feel like.
I know, right?
The stars have finally aligned.
Right? Actually, probably more than a year, because when I started on TikTok in 2021, that's when you and I first connected.
Yeah, totally. Wow. Well, here we are. Amazing. So, Jackie, can we get a little elevator pitch for yourself?
Yeah. Well, my name is Jackie, or you probably know me as the Mindful Nutritionist. And I specialize in weight loss. I went through my own 65-pound weight loss journey. And I also have helped hundreds of women sustainably live while eating the foods they love. So I help women ditch diets, reconnect to their body, and really find food freedom while being okay with wanting to change their body and feeling best in their body without having food or diet culture dictate or control them.
Absolutely. Nice. I love that. That's obviously in alignment with what we do here and in the stuff that we teach and that we're passionate about. But you mentioned food freedom in there, Jackie. What does food freedom mean?
So when it comes to mindful eating, it's about reconnecting to your body and using food as nourishment. It's really looking at food as a precursor. It's about, how is this food going to get me to my goals? How is it going to help me feel XYZ? It's not about an afterthought. It's not about, I had a shitty day. I can cuss on here, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I figured. So I had, again, like a shitty day. Therefore, I'm going to eat all of this to numb myself and not deal with my feelings. So it's really flipping your mindset to say this food is fueling me. It's giving me that nourishment. Instead of living to eat, it's eating to live. Yeah. And that mindset shift helps you understand that food's not going to fix whatever the root of the problem is. So it finds that freedom to being like, what am I actually feeling and how can I deal with that? And not using food as that emotional crutch anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful.
So what are some of those tips that you have for someone that is actually struggling with eating and their emotions? Because, you know, a lot of people really go to that.
So the first thing I like to do with clients is creating a speed bump. What do speed bumps do? They slow you down before making this irrational, emotional decision. So I always like to ask myself questions before. I used to struggle with binge eating. So when I started practicing mindful eating, I would ask myself, am I physically or emotionally hungry? What am I feeling? What am I thinking? What nutrition is this providing me? How is it going to make me feel? And how is this going to help me reach my goals? And it would allow me to, my coach says to me all the time, facts over feels.
Mm-hmm.
I acknowledge my feelings. I feel my feelings, But being able to really flip the script and focus on the facts helps me not make that emotional decision. Because we all know that sitting on the couch, watching Netflix, eating a tub of ice cream that's not going to make anyone feel good. Or standing up and eating all of the, scraps from your kids when you know you should throw it away or use it for leftovers and things like that. We know that perpetual cycle that's going to happen where you feel guilty, well, you feel ashamed, you feel bloated and gross. So we all know the story. It's about changing your thoughts. So it's about asking yourself, what am I thinking? I had a shitty, hard day. This wine, this ice cream, this food is not going to fix that. Maybe it will numb me temporarily, but what's actually going to help me feel better? What makes me feel happy? What helps me feel less stressed? How can I release this outlet of emotions? So it's really self-coaching and changing your mind, your thoughts into helpful thoughts that actually help you move forward towards your goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really have to ask yourself, you have to have like conversation with yourself. Like, okay, how is this serving me right now? Do I really need this? What do I really need? How am I feeling? Really like pausing, becoming aware, reflecting.
Absolutely. And that's what mindful eating is. It's about being present and grounded. So we all know that when we scarf a meal within 5 minutes, we've all been there before, right? Like, oh, the bloated, the unbuttoning the pants. Why am I not wearing my yoga pants? It doesn't feel good. So it's really about, okay, how can I be present, appreciate this food, understand how it's making me feel? And then when I have people slow down and eat until they're satisfied, not stuffed, not full, not clean your plate, they get into a natural calorie deficit and they lose weight while eating the foods they love,
Boom.
while eating the pizza, while eating the ice cream. It's not about eating the 3 slices of pizza and the tub of ice cream. It's about the 1 slice of pizza that feels good and tastes good with the protein, with more fiber, whatever, with the more balance. And it's about having the ice cream because you wanted the ice cream, but you actually tasted the delicious real ice cream instead of the fake Arctic Zero crap watered down version that doesn't make you feel good, and binging on that to finish it because it's 150 calories.
Right.
Eat the real thing, but have a bite or 2 of it, or 3 or 4, whatever that mindful portion is for your body, and finally feel satisfied.
Absolutely. So I love that you're a mindful eater coach, mindful eating coach, because we have a mindful eating program ourselves. Why did you get into, or how did you get into mindful eating? Everybody's got a different story there. I know you went through your own 65-pound weight loss journey, so I don't know if that's related to it or not.
I'll never forget. I was a camp counselor. It was 2010. And after many years of my parents taking me to Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, trying the maple syrup diet, trying keto, intermittent fasting, done that,
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I started working with a nutritionist and learning about connecting to my body and understanding what satisfaction felt like. Because I was always, I come from a big Jewish family. Everything's around food, right? Finish your plate. Are you hungry? No, here's a sandwich. Like it's all about food. So I was always used to always eating and eating until I was full. And so I started my weight loss journey with a nutritionist that approached it in a way, let's listen to your body and stop when you're satisfied. And that was the only thing that I did. And I remember I made this beautiful lunch of like a salmon wrap and all of these really healthy things. And I was halfway through the wrap and I was like, I feel fine. And I was like, I have all of this food left and half of my healthy wrap. What do I do? And it was like this really like conflicting feeling where like that urge to finish it because I didn't want to waste food. But I also was like very curious, like what's going to happen when I just stop? And I stopped and I finished the rest as a snack or whatever. And I just felt really like light And you know how you feel after like a satisfying meal? You just feel light and good and
You're
energized.
ready to go out and
I
crush
was
the
like,
world.
Yeah.
right. I could go on a run if I wanted to. I didn't feel like bogged down. And I was like, it was just like fucking like, oh my God, like the sun was there. I was just like, it was this monumental moment from such a simple practice
Yeah.
of like stopping when I felt good and not forcing myself to finish the food, finish what was in the wrapper, whatever. And I did it for a few days and I started losing weight. And I was like, what is this? And I just kept taking it a step further. And it gave me that motivation to want to continue to see how protein affected me, see how adding strength training. It was such an empowering moment where I was just like, this is so simple. Why are people not doing this? So then that's when I decided not to become a doctor anymore. I decided to become a dietitian. And that's how like this passion was born. And no one knows what mindful eating is. People know what intuitive eating is. They know what weight loss, they know what keto. So it's my mission to teach people you were born as a mindful eater. Think about babies. When they're satisfied, they push the boob away, they push the bottle away. Kids want to go play and they don't want to finish their food. I see it with my daughter all the time. So instead of trying to be like, Olivia, finish one more bite, I'm trying to have it stop at me, not pass it down and have her honor. I did
Love
a reel. I made like a healthy French toast with monk fruit and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one bite left. And my husband was like, Olivia, like trying to, and I was like, Todd, stop. She's done. She doesn't need it doesn't matter. It's just one bite, but she's satisfied.
Yeah.
So I took a video of me taking the plate to the sink, and it was just like, this is what I did not have when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, when it all started.
You weren't allowed to leave leftovers.
No, it was, again, you can't get up from your seat until you finish your plate. You can't get your dessert until you finish your vegetables. And it starts really, what's the word? Not malicious. It starts really harmless, right? We want our kids to eat our vegetables, but it starts this really mindless habit of preventative eating, habitual eating, clean your plate club. So I want people to know you were all born. Every single person wasn't born with their internal satisfaction cues. Society has failed us. The things that we see, supersize me, fast food, things like that, you guys, I'm sure, can agree that Chipotle burritos and things like that, like we can have half of that and feel satisfied. So everyone should feel empowered and ask themselves now, did I used to be like this? And you can get back there. It takes a lot of work and undoing, but everyone was born that way.
So how does someone recognize their satisfaction cues? Because I think a lot of people have skewed versions of their satisfaction cues. So how does someone get back to like a normal fullness cue?
That's probably the hardest question when people start working with me inside my program, because they want me to tell them. And I'm like, sorry, girl, I cannot tell you. That's your body. So I take them through the hungerfulness scale, which kind of categorizes like, you know, we don't want to get to a 1, 2, 3. We don't want to get fullness in 8, 9, 10. We want to stay in that middle range, and explaining that it feels like, you know, a little bit a bulge in your stomach, but not too much. It's kind of like after a snack where you feel no hunger anymore. You feel light. Like we said, you could go for a walk. You don't feel bogged down. But a lot of people struggle with that because we have this black and white all or nothing. I'm either freaking starving and I haven't eaten all day, or I'm crazy full and I ate 12 ounces of meat.
We're either starved or overstuffed.
Exactly. So it's about really trying to figure out what satisfied feels like to you. And for me, when I felt that with that first meal, I created like a yogurt bowl for myself where I felt that way again. And I always try to remind myself, I feel really satisfied after my yogurt with berries with nuts in a nice little bowl, and I feel content. And I try to strive for that feeling. And then if people struggle with finding that out, my first recommendation is to say, have half. See what you feel. Give yourself 20 minutes, and then guess what? If you're still hungry, you can have more.
I love that.
But you will be so shocked, right?
Power of
so important. Yes.
Shocked. It's insane. Like, if people just give themselves, and that's against society. We have no break. We're standing at our desk. We're on the run. We're drinking our smoothie in the car on the way to driving the kids somewhere. It's about slowing down and allowing your brain and gut to connect, your leptin and ghrelin to regulate, and feel that feeling of satisfaction.
When the world feels crazy and chaotic, remember that you don't have to. You deserve to take control of your mental and physical health, and Cured Nutrition is trying to make it easier for you to do exactly that. Cured wants you to feel good about feeling good, so they took their time formulating their Serenity gummies. They left out the artificial flavors, sugars, and dyes, and replaced them with ingredients that actually live up to their wellnessy word. Finding calm in this fast-paced world can be very challenging. That's why I use and love the Serenity gummies. They help to provide a physical, mental, and emotional sense of calm in everyday life. I personally like to take them before a long day of calls and meetings. The Serenity gummies bring me to a happy place, and they prepare me for the day's challenges, while also helping me to serve others to the best of my ability by providing a sense of peace and calmness in my body and mind. Right now, Cured is extending an exclusive offer to you, our listeners. You can grab a bag of Serenity gummies for 20% off by visiting www.curednutrition.com/CTC and using coupon code CTC at checkout. That's CURED nutrition.com/CTC and coupon code CTC at the checkout to save 20%. Protect your peace, pop a gummy.
I love too what you said about how you are stopping those behaviors now with your daughter, and not, the way you're talking to her about her food and things like that, and it stops with you, because that's something we've been talking about a lot recently, the last few weeks on our podcast. So this is perfectly timed appearance for you, Jackie, because so many of our poor relationships with our body and food stem from our childhood. Because not that our like you said, not that our parents were doing that maliciously. It's just that's what they were raised and taught doing, right? So they just kept passing that generational trauma down in a way.
Absolutely. It's hard. My parents emigrated from South Africa. So when my mom saw Carl's Jr. and donuts and all of these things, it was very new and foreign to her, and was like, oh, cool. I don't have to cook for my kids. I could just buy this for 99 cents, whatever it was back in the 90s. And I grew up on sushi and massive portions on Chipotle. My snack after school used to be 12 donut holes or Carl's Jr. char-broiled chicken sandwich with fries. That was normal. And I tell my mom I love her. I don't blame her. But as a 10-year-old eating that every day, it didn't give me the healthy food habits and view on food that I wish I had.
Yeah, and as a kid, you probably loved it though, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love the barbecue sauce and the donut, the powdered sugar? But that's what I was used to. And then when my parents tried to make me lose weight, it was here, let me give you all this shit, and then let's put you on a diet and starve you and give you 21 points on Weight Watchers I'll never forget. And I was like, I can't even eat peanut butter. And then I started binging because these were all off limits. I would go to my friend's house and I would raid their pantry because I wasn't allowed that anymore. So when you start from the beginning of food is food, there's no moral value. There's nutritious and there's less nutritious. And you can make the decision to choose which one makes you feel best and balance that. And that's life. It's not one or the other.
Totally. And I love the less nutritious, more nutritious foods. I love that, and where you were going with that, because we want to choose the right food for the right time too, right? We're not going to eat those 10 donuts before we go and work out. right? Maybe something light like
Absolutely.
fruit and some little bit of protein would be best there, to have that sustained energy source. So that's part of mindful eating then too, right? Is learning how food makes you feel and how your body responds and reacts to it too.
That's the whole food is fuel. And that's where people can get a little like, oh my God, what should I be eating? You're telling me eat enough to fuel my metabolism. What time? And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. It's not based off of the clock. It's based off of your body. When are you working out? Can you get protein and complex carbs after? If you can't do it within the 30-minute window, having it in an hour is okay. It's not
Absolutely.
perfect. Your body's not going to like combust if you don't have your refill your glycogen stores within 20 minutes after your workout. Like people get so intense.
Yeah.
People have to understand something is better than nothing. 10 minutes of walking is better than nothing at all because you couldn't do your 60 minutes. So when you shift your mindset to what can I do instead of what I can't, what I didn't, what I shouldn't, that's when you start seeing results.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well said.
So we keep talking about like intuitive eating and mindful eating. And to me, like those sound very familiar. So what is the difference between a mindful eater and an intuitive eater? Is there a difference?
Yes, because when you typically think of intuitive eating, you think of those two very famous dietitians that came up with it, with the principles of intuitive eating, and it's very weight inclusive. It is not focused on weight whatsoever. I've taken mindful eating, which we talk about being present with your food and being grateful and understanding your body, which intuitive eating practices, but mindful eating is a precursor. It's a eating pattern that can lead to weight loss. And there can be, I don't want to say there has to be a focus on weight or there can't be a focus on weight. It's a way of eating, a way of being present that can lead to sustainable weight loss without numbers, without counting calories, points, macros, tracking, because it's allowing your body to eat enough until it's satisfied and letting your body decide what that looks like in terms of weight, body composition. And as we all know, you can do many things to manipulate your body composition and things like that. But this leads to your body finding that natural set point weight, feeling good, you feeling comfortable in your body. It's not to get you to a 6-pack or to get ripped and things like that. It's to get your body the proper nutrition and enough fuel to make you function correctly and properly.
Yep. And I think a lot of people do get confused about intuitive eating because I get asked that a lot. What do you think about intuitive eating? And it's like, well, it's not for fat loss. And people think it's another, form of a weight loss diet when it's really not.
Well, and so people also and I feel bad for intuitive eating dietitians because then people will shit on them to say, okay, so you're telling me to eat the whole bag of Oreos?
Right.
And like, that's what you think of. It's like,
well, that's just ignorance when somebody says that, honestly.
We all get it on our pages right now. I get so much ignorance and like, why are you promoting Chipotle? And I'm like, because people eat Chipotle and I want them to know that they eat healthy.
Because Chipotle, okay?
Right? Exactly.
Because it's good.
Yeah, but even like when I'm talking about like, some of my ready-made like protein chips or protein bars, and I get so much shit on like, why are you telling people to eat toxic things and, inflammatory foods? I'm like, because I am a human and a mom and someone that lives in 2023 where packaged products can actually help me be more healthy. And I don't have the time, energy, or nor do I want to spend all of the money at a fucking farmer's market every Sunday.
Oh my God.
Eating on a farm. If I wanted to do that, I'd move to New Zealand and I'd live on a farm, but I don't. I live in San Diego in a city and I am just trying to manage life as a new mom with a baby. So when people think of intuitive eating, that is really focusing on healing your relationship with food and your body and not focusing on weight. When people come to me for mindful eating, it is with a purpose to sustainably and permanently lose weight. And women should not feel bad about wanting to lose weight or changing their body to feel better. I think women should be entitled to want to lose weight in a healthy way, where you'll find the other side with more intuitive eating. That is, we don't want to talk about weight. We want to have our clothes fit us, which I respect and I understand. But when someone wants to come to me to fit into her jeans and feel good this summer, I think that is totally commendable and they should be able to do that.
Yeah.
Agreed. Who are they to say, no, you can't do that, or that's not okay? Like that's what really fucking grinds my gears about that, you know?
That you have the people that think that, though. They're like, you're fat phobic because you want to lose weight. You don't, or whatever. It's wild.
It's like, why do you want to lose weight is what matters.
And health is so important. And I have to have these conversations every day about the scale and like I had a client just messaged me this morning, like, I finished my period. I'm 2 pounds up. I feel so discouraged. And I just had to give her some tough Jackie love in terms of the scale is something that is not an accurate indicator of your success, your progress, and is definitely not an indicator of your self-worth. So using those non-scale victories and understanding, my first lesson in my program is your why. It's not calories. It's not protein. It has nothing to do with food. It has to do with, why are you here? When you figure out your deeper why for health and weight loss, that is how when you keep reminding yourself, that's how you're going to get to your goals. It's not about a vanity metric, and which is, I feel like, something we struggle with as well. Followers, likes, the things in business, monthly income, like we all struggle with it in different ways. And I always have to remind myself, what's my why? I left my 9-to-5 job so I could be my own boss, so I could spend more time with my daughter, so I could make a bigger impact. I can work with people that want to work with me. So I found my why during my weight loss. It has to do with all aspects of my life. Why am I doing this? And the thing that encompasses everything, it's behavior. It's the lifestyle, the things that you do. It's not numbers. It's not points. It's not 127, 213. That number does not matter. It's why you want to be healthy and how you feel in your body.
Well said. So it's on the subject of whys, Jackie, how can people determine what their why is, right? The goal just stops at, I want to lose weight, and they never know why. How can we figure that out?
So a really great exercise that someone can do is asking yourself 5 times. So first of all, someone comes to me, I want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to be able to go shopping and fit into the clothes that I truly want to wear. Okay. Why do you want to be able to shop at that shop and fit into those clothes? Because I feel better when I'm wearing clothes that fit me and show off my body, and I feel confident in the things in it, makes me feel better in the rest of the areas of my life. Why do you want to feel confident and be able to, and then you keep going. And then finally you'll get to this, I want to be the best mom for my kids, or I want to prevent diabetes. I want to end eating disorders and be the last point where diet culture enters my family. For me, I was 19. I was 65 pounds overweight. I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. My doctor literally asked me how many drinks I was having a day. That's how elevated my liver enzymes were, because I had so much fat, visceral fat around my liver. And that fucking scared me. The pre-diabetes.
Yeah, 19 years old.
Yeah, and I was in college, so I was drinking, but not that much. And that scared me, seeing my grandpa with diabetes, my aunt with diabetes, knowing people die all the time with diabetes, and that it's non-curable. I know you can go into remission. I tell people that all the time. But once you have diabetes, you will always have diabetes. And I was in this like gray area where I could keep going in that direction, or I could switch and go the opposite way. And that's why 9 years later of my parents trying to put me in Weight Watchers, and I was 12 years old when I started my first diet, finally I had a why. I wanted to live. I wanted to be healthy. I didn't want to be on medications. And that's how a year and a half it got me through 65 pounds, even during my years of disordered eating and many years of struggling, finding that balance. What was my why? Becoming a mother, getting pregnant, now postpartum. What's my why? Having other women not go through the 10 years of torture that I did, not having Olivia struggle with an eating disorder like I did, or her weight like I did. So every single time I'm in my own health journey, it's always about a deeper why than a number on the scale.
Absolutely. Because we're so much more than just a number on the scale. That's the least interesting thing about us.
But it's hard because a lot of people see what I eat in a day, people body checking, and it's like, it's hard not to compare yourself to what you see other people doing, what other people eating, what people say, this is what I ate to hit this goal. It's hard not for us not to the black and white number. So people have to do that inner work, which is hard, to find out what their deeper why is.
Yep.
Okay. So you mentioned your daughter, Olivia. Was she your first child?
Yes, she, unfortunately, I struggled with fertility due to PCOS and my many, if I start crying, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Having gone through heavy weight loss, 65 pounds, and also being underweight and struggling with many different types of eating disorders for many years, I had not ovulated on my own for 6 years. So my husband and I couldn't even try because with PCOS and my history of weight and eating disorder, I couldn't get pregnant naturally. So I'm very fortunate that IVF supported us and we have a beautiful, healthy baby girl. I have a few frozen embryos and hopefully we'll be able to expand our family naturally now that I've healed my relationship with food and my body. But that is, again, another indicator in how detrimental a black and white restrictive lifestyle can impact other areas of your life. I could not function normally as a female, and I was hormonally imbalanced, and I could not conceive because of so many years of just destroying my metabolism. So it was really tough, and I'm so grateful for modern medicine to help me, but it also really made me remember all the years that I struggled, and I don't want her go through that, and other people who I know struggle for many different reasons, but also I can't control PCOS, but I could control eating under 800 calories or running 10 miles a day. And in my 20s, I didn't have the strength. That's all I knew. All I wanted to be was under 100 pounds, a 00. And I didn't know how to stop losing weight. Once I figured it out, it just kept going. And that's where this mental disease of eating disorder is so awful. But mindful eating saved me because I was finally able to feel healthy, feel strong, and not have food control me. And mindful eating, you can practice any age, any time in your life, the shift that's going on in your life, any location in the world, on vacation, off vacation. It's not something that you have to have your measuring cups and you have to have the gym and you have to have certain things. So it helped me during weight loss. I lost myself a little bit because that's just my type A perfectionist personality. But then it saved me from being impatient because I was in that direction, and I saved myself because I remembered how good I felt when I practiced mindful eating.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And I love too, how you mentioned mindful eating. It can be used for vacation and things like that. Cause I think that's something people ask us all the time. How can we eat on vacation? And, I'm like, you're asking the wrong questions. First and foremost, go enjoy yourself. But with me personally, I travel a lot. I just went off of got done with a 3-week travel block where I was literally gone for 3 weeks. I was home one night. And at the end of that 3 weeks, when I came home, guess what? I stepped on the scale and I had gone down 10 pounds in the 3 weeks. I was practicing eating mindfully, because I've been practicing mindful eating for a couple of years now. I haven't tracked macros or calories since then. I'm still an advocate for that. We still teach that with our clients to some capacity, but literally just every meal we ate it was out, right? Not a single meal was prepared. So I just took some of our basics, fueling myself with some protein and fruit and things like that before any of our activities. We were very active. So that was definitely part of the reason why I lost so much weight, because I was scuba diving, I was hiking, I was mountain biking, all these other things.
Right.
But that's just my lifestyle, So just I don't know what I was trying to say with that, other than the fact that mindful eating truly is for anybody, anywhere. It's free. You don't need rules. You need your own body and be able to tune into your body.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fascinating.
Mindful eating for a child. So I want to go back to like childhood obesity. And if you're a parent that has, an overweight child, like instead of taking them to Weight Watchers or doing something extreme like that, what would you suggest a parent do in that situation, and how to teach your child maybe mindful eating?
Yeah, it's I started my career as a dietitian at Rady Children's Hospital, focusing on childhood obesity because I felt such a strong connection to it. So I worked with a lot of parents in the community, especially in low income areas here in San Diego, who can't afford thousands of dollars for coaching and things like that. So it's really about your language. And it's about teaching your children, again, that precursor. Food is a precursor. Food makes you feel, gives you that fuel. What does the food do to you? And that it's okay if you don't want to finish it all. You don't have to finish it all. And it's all about approaching the language, about getting them involved in, what are the different colors and what do the different things do for your eyesight and your bones, and relating it to things that they can, oh, I'm going to play baseball better because I'm eating this chicken that's going to make me stronger. Like, and again, how you're approaching it and relating to them, but also showing them that chicken and ice cream are equal. They do different things. Sometimes something feeds the soul and sometimes something feeds your muscles.
Yeah.
But you have the autonomy as a child to say, eating this chicken before my baseball game is going to make me feel and play better than the ice cream will. So again, it's really education and really how you approach food, that food is fuel and it's neutral, and just telling them, how does this bowl of ice cream make you feel? Oh, I feel like I want to run around and then I get really tired. How did you feel after eating the chicken nuggets? I felt fine. I could do whatever. And having them experience that for themselves. And again, understanding their internal cues and how food makes them feel is the most important thing. And it's also empowering them to make that decision for themselves. Because we have kids, right? If you tell a child not to do something, they're going to do the opposite.
Right.
So
even as adults, we still do that.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just human nature.
Yeah. I think what's tough too is a lot of the time the parents don't even know how to eat right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a fucking trickle effect.
But that's also usually every single woman that comes to me, that's their why. That they're like, I know that my kid's watching me and I don't want them picking up. I'm looking at myself in a mirror and calling myself fat. I don't want my daughter to do that. I don't want my son to see that I'm standing and eating and not having real food, that he can do that. So again, as a parent, you have to really be able to look at yourself and say, am I being the best role model? And how can I model that? And it's not about weight loss. It's about health for the entire family.
Yeah. You got to take responsibility for your child's health.
And yourself. It's like I never understood the airplane.
The analogy of.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I never understood that until I became a parent. And now I get it that I have to take care. I cannot be the best mom to take care of Olivia if I do not take care of myself and my health. So therefore, as much as I want to put the oxygen on her first, because that makes sense, but no, in long term, I will be able to take better care of her and keep her alive and healthy if I take care of myself and show her.
Yeah. If you're alive and healthy. Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw, I reposted, someone else posted a reel about, it was awful. A guy got out of his car and fell, and he was overweight, and the stroller with the baby was going 10 miles an hour into the street. And to watch him like that slow-mo, like struggling to get up to, and thank goodness a good Samaritan, came in and stopped the stroller. But that's why your weight doesn't matter. Didn't matter if that guy was 110 or 210 or 310. But if he was able to get up and be strong and
strong
fast
body
and run,
mobile,
he could have saved his baby. And I really hope, and again, I don't know the backstory about what happened, if he hurt himself or blah, 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 but it made me think, oh my God, health is more than just a number. It's how you function.
People don't think about what's going to happen when they get older. And, you got to be able to get up off the floor if you fall, even get up and down from off the couch even, or your kitchen table, it's
or even
so
if you
important.
fall, just to minimize the damage that it does if you do.
Right.
Fall, right.
Quality of life.
But even they say, like, I want to keep up with my grandkids, like bending over to pick up my grandkids, or like keeping up at the park with them, or being able to walk with them and go to Disneyland and sit on the rides with them. It becomes more than the number. It becomes like your ability to do the things that you want to do in your life.
Live your life to your fucking fullest. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And it's hard because it's like, it's not crazy, sexy, cool to talk about this. Like, this is like deeper inner shit, and people don't want to do that hard work. But then
they don't want to hear it.
No, but they want a quick fix. They want Ozempic and a pill. They want a food list. If someone asks me for another fucking meal plan, that's not going to help you. It's about figuring out what foods work best for you that make you feel best to go do those things.
Yeah. People forget there's no easy way out of this. It doesn't matter if you're taking Ozempic or if you're getting bariatric surgery, you're still going to struggle unless you focus on mastering those boring basic things, improving your habits. It really comes down to that no matter what the fuck you decide to do. It's going to be work.
And that's actually, I started my career at Rady's, and then my first like big girl dietitian job was a bariatric dietitian for a world-renowned surgeon here in San Diego for 2.5 years. And I left because I felt like I was fueling an industry where people wanted to come and have me sign off for them to get bypass, sleeve, balloon, phentermine. Fen was big when I was doing it. And I was not changing lives. I was helping people use a Band-Aid to come back. I had a patient who was on his 3rd round of bypass. How do you fucking do bypass 3 times? I mean, it's like, it was very clear. I said to my surgeon, I was like, this person is not ready, and nor has the tools and the ability to make the lifestyle changes to have a surgery that can help and support him. Instead, he's using it as a quick fix and a crutch, and it's going to keep happening because his insurance will cover it because he meets the criteria. And I left because I just felt like I was not helping. And I had some patients come over with me, but that's when and especially now with Ozempic, I realize I have to move with the times. As a former bariatric dietitian, as a weight loss dietitian, there are appropriate times when it is something that should be a good option for someone, but they have to make the lifestyle changes in order for it to work.
Yes, absolutely.
Where do you see things going with these weight loss drugs? I'm already seeing people coming to us because now their hunger is all over the place. They were like, I made a mistake. I started taking semaglutide, I think it is.
Yeah.
And now I'm always hungry. So it's like now I feel like we're picking up another round of like toxicity from, people just wanting to lose 20 to 30 pounds and not thinking of the repercussions of what happens after.
It's so hard because it's amazing. We will always have jobs, but it doesn't make me feel good that that's why we will always have jobs.
I want to have a job for other reasons, not because we're unfucking everybody because of what other people have been doing.
Exactly. So it's hard because when I first started, Contrave and these GLP-1s, the semaglutides, like you said, were very, very powerful for diabetics. And then, of course, we saw weight loss because it reduced their hunger hormones. So not only did it help them with their hepatic glucose, the sugar that they're putting out inside their body, regulating their blood sugar, insulin resistance, all the things that we wanted to do to help diabetics. But we saw the weight loss. And, that's when doctors, even my surgeon, would say, and it's going to help you lose 5 to 10% of your body fat. And that's all people hear. So again, this is going against every fiber in my being of mindful eating because it's actually an external factor that is stopping you from listening and understanding your internal cues. So it fucks people up because they love the fact that they're not feeling hungry and that they lose weight and they don't have cravings. But the minute you're not paying $1,500 a month and injecting yourself with this thing, now what? You're back to still not knowing.
Famished and you can't get full.
But you also don't know you didn't get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is understanding what foods make you feel satisfied, what a balanced plate feels like for you, and how much food you need to feel satisfied and what satisfaction feels like. So then it's like, okay, I lose the 30 pounds, but then I go off and then I gain it back plus more. And then I'm still stuck with the same fucking problem.
Yeah.
Right. Because you didn't fix your behaviors. You didn't fix those relationships.
It always comes down to fixing your mindset and your behaviors, the root cause.
But the root of the problem, and it's hard because I posted a reel and it was so funny. I got so much backlash from all the people on Ozempic. It talked about a lot of the studies are showing in DEXA scans that people are losing a lot of muscle mass, which we all know skeletal muscle is so important for weight loss and keeping your metabolism up, where people are losing
but weight loss at any cost, Jackie, we don't care.
Exactly. Well, the scale's going down and now I'm 120 like I was when I was 17 fucking years old. It doesn't matter if I have no muscle. My bones are about to break. Who cares?
But it's serious because people were looking at these Z-scores, their bones, they're going to have osteopenia and osteoporosis at the age of 30. And so it's not funny, but it's true. So when people are losing 75% of their weight coming from muscle and 25% from fat, when it should be flipped, it's like a no-brainer, guys. Why would you do that? Why would you put yourself, it was the same thing with me with my eating disorder. I was 97 pounds at my thinnest. I probably could have tripped and broken a bone because I was so frail. So yes, I was at a weight that I wanted to be, but I was the unhealthiest. So it's like, what is health to you? So, I mean, it's hard because these semaglutides are needed for diabetics that need it, that have serious metabolic issues, that have insulin resistance, where they need it to support them, and they're not able to get it because the people that can afford to get it, and take it off market for quick and easy weight loss, that's not good.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, and I've been seeing that a lot lately, especially with Ozempic, is when I'm talking with prospective clients and they're like, oh, well, my doctor just wants me to do Ozempic for 6 months to lose some weight quickly. I'm like, okay, well, what next? What are you going to do after that? Or what are you doing in the meantime of taking Ozempic to set yourself up for long-term success? And then it's like a blank face. They're like, I've never thought about that. Like, yeah, exactly. Nobody's talking about
that.
Well, that's why I think with people and doctors and physicians and people that are recommending weight loss drugs need to do a better job and do their due diligence to see the patients that are capable of making those lifestyle changes in conjunction. And if that person is a good fit, they should have it. They should have the tool that's going to support them. I am all for that. So that's why when people were like, oh my God, you're a dietitian that's against it. I'm like, hello, for 3 years, I worked with patients who are literally on it and phentermine and Contrave and all of these different semaglutides. But I think that those that don't see the lifestyle changes and don't make that effort to do it again in conjunction, those are the ones that are going to fail.
Because they're looking at lifestyle changes, doing it for a couple of weeks, and then fucking throwing in their hands when it doesn't change overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like even some of the people that gave me the backlash, like, what's this girl talking about? I've gained muscle and this and that. And I'm like, dude, good for you. You are the 1% that's actually
exception to the rule.
Exactly. So I am proud of you. I'm not bashing you. I'm saying 99% of people are not doing that. And those are the people that need to have that education.
Yeah. Well, you have dermatologists and chiropractors giving these shots out.
It was funny. I saw also another
scope of practice. What the fuck?
Nurse. And I'm just like, wait. And it's the same thing as a dietitian. That's why in California it's hard. We don't have licensure laws because we have so many people who are doing nutrition and health, and whether it's a chiropractor or doing, a nurse and things like that. So we can't control other people giving that information. But I do think that if a dermatologist is someone who is not an expert in weight loss and nutrition and food and body and things like that, they should not be giving patients.
What's the problem? Everybody thinks they're a fucking expert, even if they only had 1 hour of education on the matter.
Yeah, because I get people who are like, oh, I did this course, I read this blog, and I'm a nutritionist. That's why it's so important to look for a dietitian, someone who's been through the rigorous training. And again, like you guys, you have a dietitian, right? Like who supports your
clients. I've got 2 of them on my team.
You guys understand. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's like you understand that I am I cannot write a fitness plan for someone. I'll send them straight to you because you know better than I do. Stay in your own fucking lane.
Yeah, agree.
Absolutely. And going back to the weight loss and skeletal muscle and things like that, that's one of the big reasons why we talk about fat loss rather than weight loss, right? Because fat loss is, it's either it's fat or it's not, but weight loss is so many things, right? Sure, it could be fat, but depending on how you're losing the weight, right? If you're crash dieting, if you're over exercising, you're going to be losing muscle mass, you're going to be losing bone density, you're going to be losing bodily fluid and poo and things like that. We don't give a shit about that. Those are normal things. We want as much muscle mass. We want as much bone as we can maintain and hopefully build as well. So if people can just start referring to fat loss as fat loss and just keep weight loss out of the fucking conversation, that'd be great.
I know, but what's really hard as a society, we like black and white. We like right or wrong. We like easy. So seeing your weight is 170 and then seeing it 173 or 167, people like the fact that it's telling you you're doing something right or you're doing something wrong. And that's the problem, because we like that black and white, all or nothing, because it's simple. You're doing it right, you're doing it wrong. But like you said, no, there's so much more. We need to look at your muscle mass. We need to look at your height. People don't get that also when you're doing BIA and you're standing on your in-body and your body fat is up, but your water is down, people don't realize that is skewed and it's not accurate because you were dehydrated. You need apples to apples. So people just one number and they're so stuck, like you said, Beth, 120 fitting into my wedding dress, whatever. And I'm like, what does that number truly mean to you? And like, does that make you a better person? Does someone in your family is like, you can't be in our family if you weigh 123, like you're an awful person? People have to start really digging deeper and ask, why am I so tied to that number? And why am I letting that dictate my self-worth?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Oh my God, we're an hour into this conversation already, Jackie. This has been a great conversation.
We could go even more, I'm sure. So we'll have to do it again. But I'm glad we did this.
Jackie, before we go, though, please let our audience know where people can find you. And if you have any resources or offers or anything you'd like to point people towards as well.
Oh, yeah. So you guys can find me on Instagram mostly, The Mindful Nutritionist, the.mindful.nutritionist, also on TikTok. And then I have a free course, 3 easy things that you need to do in order to lose weight and keep it off for good. And it talks about the 3, of course, mindful eating is connecting to your body is one of them. So you can always start with my free course. I have a free guide and also my signature program, Mindful Weight Loss Academy, for those that want that one-on-one coaching and that support for my 4-month signature program. We've got 70 incredible women inside, and we have a mindset coach. It's an amazing it's what I needed during my weight loss journey that I didn't have, and it's always ever evolving. So for those that are ready to make a serious change and transform their life and 4+ months and beyond, Mindful Weight Loss Academy is for you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. It's been great.
Thank you. It's so good chatting with you guys.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, so why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.